I found an old notebook of mine from March where I was writing about my business and I came across the lines that I wrote that it was something, the prompt question was like, what are the challenges in your business or what's hard for you now? And I was like, I hate marketing. I hate social media. I hate writing. I couldn't even believe that that was March. It wasn't that long ago, all things considered. And that has totally changed for me. Now, like I know exactly how to show up on Instagram. I know exactly what I want to say. Marketing feels easy. I actually enjoy writing my newsletter because so much has been able to shift for me.
Hello, I'm Debbie Shadid, the host of the Life Coach Business Building Podcast. If you are ready to have more clients in your life coach business, then you're in the right spot. Each week, I'm going to teach you super simple strategies to grow your business without feeling overwhelmed and without spending money on paid ads. Now, if that sounds interesting, stick around and let's get started. Hello. Welcome to the Life Coach Business Building Podcast. I want to take a moment and introduce you to one of my clients, Kimberly Severson. She is an advanced certified weight loss coach and certified life and mindset coach. Let me tell you what you can expect today. We're going to be talking about her coaching, which is amazing. Honestly, she helps women who are passionate about food and chronic restrictive dieting and lose weight while eating what they love. Now that sounds amazing. I'm going to let her introduce herself, talk to you about what she does, and then we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk a little bit about the work that we have done together. So Kim, take it away. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you started.
Thank you, Debbie. I'm so excited to be here. So yeah, as you said, I'm an advanced certified weight loss coach, and I'm also a certified life and mindset coach. I came to coaching sort of by accident. I stumbled across a podcast for a woman who would eventually become my mentor. Her name is Corinne Crabtree. She's an incredible weight loss coach with a really, really robust membership. And I stumbled across her work on just a random Facebook group, and I started listening to her podcast, and it just made so much sense to me. The way she teaches weight loss was like nothing I had ever heard. And so I joined her program, really not knowing exactly what I was getting into. I thought I was just going to lose some weight, which I did. But as soon as I got in there, I realized the life coaching component was the key to, achieving a weight loss goal, but really any goal that you have. And I lost weight, but I started working on my relationships, my confidence, what I believed was possible for me, my career, and just everything transformed. So the weight loss was a really great piece. It's the piece that I came for, but it ended up being like the most insignificant piece out of everything I got. So it was a lot more than I expected.
That's so fun. I honestly think that's kind of the thing about life coaching, because as my audience already knows, I don't do life coaching, although I'm a certified life coach. But I do think just becoming a certified life coach and having the knowledge about life coaching, wow, it transforms everything in your whole life and affects everybody around you. So
absolutely.
Anyway, all right. So you came to work with Corinne because tell me about your history with weight loss and kind of a little bit about that. So everybody can relate to you, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Yes. So before I became a coach, my previous career, I was a chef. I went to culinary school right out of high school when I was just 17 years old. And then I started working around New York City. I got really fascinated in wine and I was trained as a sommelier. And then I was working in food and wine events. So my whole career has been food and wine and restaurants and all of those amazing things. And, I maintained my weight for most of my life. And then I had kids, 2 kids pretty close together. And that really changed the game for me. And I found myself 35 pounds overweight and just really struggling to lose it. I tried everything. I tried Weight Watchers about 1 million times. I tried, every fad diet under the sun, and nothing worked for me because it took away this big part of my life, which was food and wine and going to restaurants and cooking for friends. Like I thought I had to put all of that on hold to lose weight. And it's no wonder that I was not able to stick to those diets. So when I found Corinne's program in 2019, it was the opposite of that. It was, losing weight by listening to your body rather than by cutting out anything or following a restricted calorie plan or something like that. And that finally worked for me because I was able to cook what I want and eat what I want and not miss out on anything. So that was really the key for me.
So do you think, this is a little off topic, but do you think that the weight that you kind of gained was because of the pregnancies, or was it that like you were getting a little older, your body was changing? Because we hear that a lot, right? Stories about what's happened to our bodies.
Yeah. It's interesting because I didn't gain a lot of weight with either of my pregnancies. It was after. It was after the birth of my second child, my son, who was a little bit of a handful. And, I just found new motherhood very challenging. I was an only child. So again, I had no idea what I was getting into. Of all of that, I didn't really know, before life coaching, I didn't really know how to manage my feelings and how to process them. I would just get through every day and then eat. So, I found myself gaining weight in a way that I never had in my life before because I wasn't really managing my stress effectively. So, it was less the pregnancies and more just like everything that came with new motherhood, which is a stressful experience for many people. And I really just needed tools and strategies and outlets that weren't ice cream and takeout.
After you lost the weight in this new way, what got you from I've lost the weight to I've got to be a coach and help other women do this?
It was a long road because at the time I had gone back to work. I was working in New Jersey in food and wine events again, and I loved it. I had no intention to leave. I really, really enjoyed my career. But at the same time, I was getting obsessed with coaching. So I had lost my weight. I was working on so many things personally, and I was just studying as much coaching as I could, listening to coaching podcasts constantly, really just for myself and my own self-development, never intending to do anything with it other than just like live a more productive, happier life. But then COVID happened in 2020 and, working in food and wine events, that went away. That was not a thing. And so I was actually laid off from my job, not permanently, but temporarily. And it gave me a lot of time to think. And I actually had a friend who was like, have you ever considered becoming a coach? You really spend a lot of time listening to coaching. And really my hesitation was I was afraid of starting. So I signed up for coaching certification, one, because I wanted to, because it's just, I wanted to learn more and more and more about coaching, but also with the intention of working for someone else. I never intended to start my own business because it just seemed like an insurmountable hill to climb. And so I joined certification then, really believing that there was, it would take so long for the food and wine, the restaurant industry or the events industry to come back. And I wanted to pursue this thing I loved. But at the time, starting my own business was not something I was considering.
Interesting. So you decided to become a coach, and you've talked a little bit about your audience of who your ideal client is. Do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah. So, it's been such a transition because now I do have my own business, and my ideal client and the women that I work with are really passionate about food and wine and cooking and restaurants, just like me. And they think that they can't lose weight because they love food too much, or because they just don't have the willpower that other women who lose weight seem to have. They're really, really struggling trying to do these traditional restrictive diets, limiting calories, counting macros, all the, the apps and the plans that as women we've all tried, right? They are having trouble sticking to those because, again, it takes away this part of their life that is this big source of joy for them, right? Like going to farmers markets, looking through cookbooks, going to restaurants on the weekend, throwing dinner parties, like all of that goes away when you're on a restrictive diet. And so it's no wonder that they're struggling to stick to those. So that's my ideal client when they find me. And I show them that you don't have to cut out any of that. You can keep all of that in your life as long as you learn how to listen to your body, to stop overeating. So your body sends you signals about when you're ready to eat and how much is enough at each meal. We just, especially if we've been on diets our entire life, we learn to ignore our own bodies and our own body signals to listen to these external sources. But I teach my clients how to tune back into what their body's saying.
Interesting. So just to be clear, love food is one thing, but to love really the kind of food that Kim is talking about is different. It's really quality. Like you said, you're a chef, like prepared food with, like butter and fat and cheese. And like you said, some of those things. This is not just like, I love to eat food, the Kraft macaroni and cheese box. This is like really quality delicious, high-end, I don't know how you would describe it, food.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good like roadside taco
Yeah.
stand or like,
Yeah.
New York City slice of pizza. And it's all of that. But it's really like women who are like, ooh, what am I going to have for breakfast? And then what am I going to have for lunch? And like, where are we going to go for dinner on Friday? And I want to have my friends over. What am I going to cook? They spend a lot of time thinking about their next meal. And they're, even like travel is centered around, well, what are we going to eat and what restaurants are in that city? All of that.
Oh, gosh, so fascinating. It really is, because how many people, I mean, I'm sure everybody listening has planned a trip, and that's especially now, like you start Googling, where are we going to eat?
It's the first thing I plan. Yeah.
Right, right. That's so fantastic. So I know that you work with, just about anyone, but I mean, who probably is your ideal client? Like maybe if you could say a little bit more about like maybe the weight they need to lose or their age range or kind of what they come to you, where are they at when they come to you?
It's interesting, Debbie. I've worked with women in a really broad spectrum of age ranges and a really broad spectrum of weight loss goals. I have one client who's 51 pounds down now and has another 50 or so to go.
Oh, good.
He's doing amazing. But then I have clients who, and this almost surprised me, they come to me for just 10 to 15 pounds to lose. The commonality is the struggle that they've tried everything and they're kind of at the end of their rope. They're like, I'll give coaching a try, but this is really, it feels like the end of the road for them because every other diet has not worked. So it's, they have some amount of weight to lose. And that's the thing. Like some women think, oh, well, there's always a reason. Like mine was, I have kids. It's too hard to lose weight when I have two little kids. But for some women, it's like, well, I'm postmenopausal or like my hormones are changing. I can't lose weight. There's always like a reason and a roadblock. And that's what we work together in coaching to unwind.
Wow. So much fun. So tell me what the style of your coaching is. I mean, you do group coaching, you do private coaching. How does somebody work with you? What does that look like?
Yeah. So I do private coaching exclusively. So it's one-to-one, me and you on Zoom, very personalized, individualized sessions. I have a program that I take my clients to, but as I was saying, every client is different. So every client has specific things that are getting in their way or reasons that they think they can't lose weight. And I love the one-on-one coaching experience so that like each client gets exactly what they need, tailored to them, specific to them, with lots and lots of support.
Yeah. So right now we're recording this in October of 2022. So if you're going to listen to this later, this won't apply, but we are getting ready to face the holidays. So we have Halloween candy. And if you're in the US, we have Thanksgiving. And if Christmas is your holiday, we have Christmas coming. And in most people's minds, that involves a lot of eating. So what's that look like? Kind of what are your thoughts about that and the approach that you have to that?
Right. The holidays are some of my favorite time to coach, but you know what? It's never just the holidays. It's like I have clients who are like, well, summer, it's so hard to lose weight in summer, right? There's all these barbecues and things like that. So there's always going to be food around. But as we roll into the holidays, you're right. It is just like Halloween, then Thanksgiving, whatever holiday you celebrate, there's food around. And I find that a lot of women are like, I can't even think about this until January. I'm just I am doomed to gain weight. And I love to show them that that is not true. The holidays happen for me and my clients every single year. And I think one of the best gifts that I give them is like, you never have to worry about weight gain during the holidays. So let's set you up for success so that you can enjoy the foods that you like. You don't have to feel like you're missing out on, grandma's Christmas cookies, the Thanksgiving leftover sandwich. That's like the best thing ever to me. You get to enjoy all those things. We just do it in a way where you're not overeating. You actually feel in control around food and you get to enjoy what you love so you don't feel deprived. It's like the best of both worlds. You don't end the holidays feeling like bloated and your pants don't fit, but you also don't feel like you missed out on anything.
Oh my gosh. All right. Did you guys hear that? Everybody, you don't have to wait till January 1 and have a New Year's resolution again that you probably, by day 3 or day 2, day 1, I don't know. You don't even make it through the first day. It's possible to start today and go through the holidays and really change your body and change your life. I mean, it sounds like this is really life-changing work.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it changed my life completely. And I love that, I just have this like easy, peaceful, fun relationship with food. It's not like a love-hate thing anymore where I love it and I enjoy it so much, but I can't have it. That is gone from my life. And that's what I really wanted to give to all of my clients when I became a coach myself.
Can you imagine the years and the hours and the days that you spent thinking about this, that the freedom, the ball and chain you were dragging around, the freedom that you have from this now that people could have. And boy, the earlier, the better.
Yeah. Yes. So I have a client that I'm working with right now. She's amazing. I think it was 40 years, 4 decades. She was doing restrictive diets, weighing all her food, counting calories, struggling, but then blowing it on the weekends because she felt so deprived and restricted. So I'm going to suffer all week and then blow it on the weekends, then beat myself up, then go back to restriction, like stuck in this cycle. She's been coaching with me. She's 2 pounds away from her goal weight and she's given up all of that. She doesn't weigh her food. She doesn't restrict. She's eating food she's never let herself have on those diets before, traveling, living her life. And she talks about the relief she feels. Like she never has to go back to that lifestyle ever again. She just knows exactly what to do going forward to just enjoy her life, eat the food that is appealing to her, and maintain this weight loss she's gotten.
Wow. Well, I think it's a good idea you started your own business because you have a really fun perspective that is very interesting. And definitely, I'm sure for anybody listening, something that's so different than anything that they've tried or heard of or thought of before. It's very intriguing. All right. So what else do you want us to know about your coaching, the work that you do with your clients, or about who this is for? What else do we need to share?
Yeah. I think what I try to do in my coaching is just make it fun and make it doable. Like clients come to me thinking that weight loss is a slog, it's painful, it's going to be hard, right? Because that's what the diet industry kind of sets us up to think, no pain, no gain, right? But then, if it's hard, you're not going to want to do it. You're not going to want to show up every day and do the quote unquote work. So I try to take the work out of it and make it fun, realistic, and doable, right? So like the fun for me was, oh my gosh, I can lose weight and cook whatever I want. I remember like dog-earing recipes and trying new things and like going back to full fat cheese and butter, as you said. And it's so refreshing because you think that you're not going to be allowed to do that while losing weight. So, if anything, I try to keep it fun. I want them to be able to do this for the rest of their lives. And in order for them to do that, it has to be fun.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So I want to tell you guys, we're getting ready to talk about coaching, about her coaching with me and kind of what's happened in her business. But I want to tell you that we will share at the end, how you get with Kim and all that. But she has got some really great free trainings that if you are on the fence at all, first of all, you should have a consultation call with her. But second of all, if you're just curious about this, the workshops and trainings that she has put together are really first class, and they really explain some things that I'm sure you have not been introduced to in the past. So I want to encourage you. We will leave all those links in the show notes. So, All right, let's talk about us now. Let's talk about the Business Building Boutique. How did you come to me? How did you find me? How did this all start?
So, I don't remember how I found you exactly because I was on your email list for a long time, not really thinking about my business, which, it was not surprising that I wasn't getting the results that I wanted in my business. So when I found you, or when I decided I needed to start working with you, I was like, all right, I've created this amazing business. I've created all of these incredible educational materials and workbooks, and no one was seeing them, or very few people were seeing them because I wasn't marketing. I was kind of waiting for clients to come to me, and some were, but I was like, all right, I was kind of frustrated and stuck with where I was. I wanted to grow, but I didn't know how. I didn't know the next steps. I didn't really have a lot of direction. So I looked into a few business coaches, and what really resonated with me about your approach was like, you're an action line coach, right? I'm going to tell you what to do. I can do mindset work all day, but sometimes you just need ideas and direction and support. And so that's really what drew me to you.
Well, and let me just say, it's interesting because clients come to me in all stages of their business. But I think, first of all, let me validate what you said, which is you had created an incredible coaching program for weight loss and you were getting some results. You had been making some money, but it is sort of, I think, a common thought like, okay, I'm certified. And you already had a beautiful website. You had run paid Facebook ads. You did have an email list. So you actually had some things in that a lot of people don't. And I mean, your stuff is beautiful, honestly. And that's not a result of me. You already had that. So it's interesting that you came with those things. And yet still the mindset sort of was like, the people will come.
Yeah. Which is what we're told. Like you create value, right? You put it all out there and then boom, you have a successful business. And like, I get why it's presented that way. It's inspiring, right? But that was not my experience. I was like, I'm here. The coaching is ready to go. The program's ready to go. The value has been created. Where are they?
Yeah. So. Then comes the hard reality of like, we have to do some stuff to get the people. Anyway, so the problem is that you were not, I guess, having the bottom line, having enough clients.
Right. And I wasn't marketing. I really wasn't marketing. I was sort
Did
of
you
like
know
a
that?
little bit here and there. No, not at all. Right?
Okay.
I mean, I knew to a certain extent I wasn't really showing up on social media a little bit here and there, but there were a lot of things that I didn't know about how to market, but I didn't know that I didn't know them, right? It's like I didn't, and that's why I came to you for ideas and inspiration and support and guidance.
Yeah, I do think that's a valid point. I think often you don't know what you don't know until you're there. And it's like, well, I often have people come to me and they're like, well, I've already tried social media and it didn't work. And I already have an email list and it's not working. And it's like, well, yeah, there are other approaches to social media, email list building, and those things too. So interestingly, you had done some of those things. Let's talk about the work that we've done, some of the things that have changed for you, the things you've put into place. If you want to share a little bit more about that.
Yeah. I mean, the very first thing we did together was get really dialed in on my niche, my positioning, all of the copywriting stuff, which I was not doing terribly at, but, working with you made it so much more succinct and clear. And my message just started developing in this way where I think clients could understand it. And now at this point, after working with you, I think my ideal client comes to my website and they're like, that is me, right? And I think I was just in working with you able to communicate that message in a much more clear way. Because my very first website, which I don't even think you saw, was just like a block of text. You could scroll through and scroll through and scroll through. So you really helped me say what I needed to say in the fewest, most clear words possible, which has really shifted all my marketing, not just my website copy. And then I remember you saying early on, like, we just need to put some fuel on the marketing side of things. At the time, I was showing up on social media like once every 2 weeks, being like, why is that not enough? So you had me really showing up much more there. And then you inspired me to start doing some free workshops, which has been amazing for list building and for content creation. And what else have we done together?
Well, I think, let me backtrack, this copy that she worked on, which is the messaging, and it's sort of where we go through a process of deciding how to get fewer words speaking to the direct problem that your person has. That actually gives you then, it sort of solves the next problem, which is I was on social media, but I didn't actually know, like, I was having trouble figuring out what to say on social media. Like, I didn't know what my next post should be about. I didn't know really, I could email, but they were very vanilla, like very ordinary kind of emails. And that piece of copy sort of makes a way for the other pieces of marketing to be easier, would you say, for you to execute? Like, you understand what you're going to do now, what you're going to write about. It's not so hard.
Right. Yeah. Because I've since created so many materials for my business, like a brochure that explains my entire program and what coaching is like, or, even just my weekly newsletters or any social media copy, like it all gets drawn from that like foundation that we created together.
Yeah. And you guys, her stuff is so pretty. I really want to encourage you to sign up and get her newsletters and get kind of in her funnel because her stuff is very pretty. I work with most people in Flowdesk to set up their email service. Really I picked Flowdesk because you can do beautiful things in there, and you have done that. And all of the nurturing that you do with people who arrive in your world now, so that you're preparing people to meet you and purchase today, meet you and purchase, in a month, and also meet you and purchase like when they're ready. But you're nurturing and loving them up all the way, and providing things that are significant. And your freebies are really, really good.
Thank you. Due in large part to you. So yeah, it was just game changing doing that work.
Well, thank you. So another thing that she mentioned that I'll talk about just briefly is I have a lot of templates for things to try to make things easier. So you mentioned like a coaching brochure. A lot of this, that I brought to coaching coaches was from previous business experience that I had. And when I came to the coaching world, I made a brochure for my coaching. And then I realized nobody had a brochure for their coaching. And it was like, well, that's interesting. Well, how are they marketing themselves? And then it was like, well, they just get on a consultation call and talk. And that's a really nice piece. But I have a template, you guys, that like she took the template, used my template as a guide, which really makes things so much faster, because it's like, oh, I see the direction.
Yeah. And that brochure took me, under an hour to put together. And I love it. I love being able to send it to clients after consultations to just recap everything that they will get when they join my program.
Yeah.
But because we had done, again, that foundational work of like, here's all of the copy, here's all of the messaging, and then you created the template, I was able to just kind of like plug all of that in there, and it looks so beautiful and professional.
Yeah. And you recently said in one of our coaching calls that this copy even helps you in consultation calls.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because I know it like in my bones now. I know, I always kind of knew it, but I didn't have it so clearly articulated. I used to get on consults and I would have my script right there. I'm sure looking very relaxed and natural with the script I was trying to follow. But now it's just like, I don't need a script. We're just having a conversation and I know exactly what I'm going to say.
Yeah, boy, that's a game changer too, because some people love following a script. It is nice to know what you're going to talk about. And like you said, really know your business so well inside and out. And I also, kind of as a general guideline, I really want you to be known for something. So we really want to drive home the point of exactly who Kim's client is. I want her clients to raise their hand and say, oh my gosh, that is me that she's talking about, and she's the one for me, which is why that consistent message in all the places really helps develop that for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you feel like you are having clients that are closer to your ideal person? Are you having conversations with those people?
Yeah, for sure. Because I've gotten so much more specific on what it is that I do and, who I coach and how I coach them and what it can create for them. So I think before I knew that all internally, but I think I was being vague about saying it.
It's hard to learn how to write like that. That's a whole new deal. Writing marketing copy is a whole different comes from a whole different perspective. So I also want to address, before we wrap up here, you had a hesitation about group coaching. You really wanted private coaching, and I don't do private coaching. Now I do, just so everybody's clear, I do a couple of kind of what I would call foundational sessions with you to make sure this key copy piece is taken care of. So you do have some private time with me, but I'm not a private coach. It's group coaching. So do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my concern was, because I had been in groups before where it's like I don't want to say held back, but sometimes you kind of have to slow down so that other people can catch up, because we're all starting from different places. And my concern was that, just that my needs wouldn't be met, right? Or that there wouldn't be, that I wouldn't have as much access to you as maybe I needed. And you were kind enough to spend a lot of time with me explaining your program to me before I actually became a client. But this is the most high touch group program that I can imagine. Like, you give your clients a lot of access to you. I honestly don't know when you sleep.
Sometimes I wonder too, but anyway.
Right. Yeah. And it's every question I've ever had, every concern I've ever had has been addressed, and quickly. And I'm actually loving the group side of it because I'm learning from my colleagues, right? And I'm seeing what they struggle with, and I'm seeing how they overcome it. And I'm applying that to my own business. So it is actually really lovely to be able to see women at different stages of their business facing all kinds of challenges to be able to learn from them. So I feel like it's the best of both worlds, right? Like I feel like I have a lot of access to you and that you really understand my issues and can help me with them. And I'm able to learn from the other women in the group.
Yeah, it is interesting because it's all different niches at a variety of business levels. I will say I do have 2 levels of the business building boutique, and Kim, being the rock star that she is, went through the first level very fast. And when that happens, you just move up to the second level. So you're not in the group with beginner questions. She's now in the group with everybody that's basically at her level. And those, by the way, are different marketing, concepts that we talk about marketing, the strategies of growth. Those are different for that group compared to the people that are just getting started. So yeah, she moved up to the level where she could get the more, I won't say it's like completely advanced, but stuff that was more based on where you were going with your business at this point.
Right. Exactly. And that was a big selling point when I decided to become a client. So yeah, something I can share about our coaching together. I found an old notebook of mine from March where I was writing about my business and I came across the lines that I wrote that it was something, the prompt question was like, what are the challenges in your business or what's hard for you now? And I was like, I hate marketing. I hate social media. I hate writing. I couldn't even believe that that was March. It wasn't that long ago, all things considered. And that has totally changed for me. Now, like I know exactly how to show up on Instagram. I know exactly what I want to say. Marketing feels easy. I actually enjoy writing my newsletter because so much has been able to shift for me. And another thing, a big aha in working with you is I didn't even realize there was a point in us working together. And I wasn't even aware of this, but I was kind of in a funk. Like I was believing that things weren't working, believing that things were hard, and just kind of making the process difficult. And I wasn't even catching it, but you caught it. And another coach in your program caught it and really brought it to my attention and worked on it with me, which shifted so much. It made my business so much more fun and so much less of a challenge. So that was huge. That was really valuable.
Well, building a business is no joke. Seriously, it isn't. And I would speak that truth to you and say, come work with me. I know that you and everybody else has already invested in other coaching. And most of the time when you come to me, you haven't gotten what you wanted somewhere else. And so you're here and you're coming to me with doubt and uncertainty about like, how can this lady do what she's saying? But I will say, I do care about what happens to everybody. And look, if you come to the coaching that I offer, I'm right there with you. But it is true. You go along in your business and we have to do some stuff that's challenging. First of all, why is it so important? And second of all, why is it so hard? Until you get that knocked out, it's easy to get in a slump, honestly, kind of in the process of us working together before it becomes fun again.
Yeah. And I was so grateful that you and the other coach pointed it out to me because I didn't even know I was doing it. I was like, oh, I'm just working hard. Of course I feel this way. And it's like, well, you could have this whole other experience. Your business could feel fun again and you can be showing up in different energy. I think that was pretty major for me too.
Yeah. So we do in the business building boutique, I do all of what she said, the action coaching, where it's all the strategy, all of the, how do you market, and also really show you how to do all of it. So you don't have to Google anything else. But the other piece to this is business mindset piece where you get stuck mindset wise in this growth of your business. For everybody, it's something different, but that's pretty common where there gets to be some blocks. And it's so nice to be able to come back with that mindset piece and say, all right, where are you holding yourself back? We can see it, but now where you tell us where you're holding yourself back at this point. Now you know what to do. You've got things in place and it's not working the way you want it to. So let's figure out together what's going on here, what the sticking point is. So
yeah, that was huge.
Super, super fun. All right. So how are people going to connect with you? It will be in the show notes, but tell people what you've got for them and how they're going to connect with you.
Yeah, all my information is available on my website. It's KimberlySeversonCoaching.com. Also, I'm on Instagram a lot, also Kimberly Severson Coaching. And as you said, I have a bunch of free workshops coming up. I do at least one a month So the next one will be on October 20th, and that will be all about how to handle cravings and urges to overeat. So when a big craving hits and you know you're not hungry, I'll take you through an easy process for exactly how to handle that without overeating.
October 20th is what she's saying. So if you're listening to this podcast, you need to sign up for that workshop so you get the link to be part of it. All right, go ahead, Kim.
Right. Yes. And the one after that will be all about why restrictive diets fail. I really go into like the physiology of why that doesn't work for you. So you can understand it's not you, it's the diets that really set you up to struggle. And then I'll give you my 3 steps to stop overeating.
Oh, brilliant. All right, Kim, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being a client. Thank you for doing such great work, for listening to my advice and for taking the action. Because sometimes it's uncomfortable, for doing all those things. Thank you for showing up for your business, because what you have to offer the world is really, it's unique and it's life-changing. So because of the work that you've done with me, you're able to serve and reach more people that really need your help. So thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Debbie. It's my pleasure.
All right, you guys, I want you to grab the freebie and make sure that you sign up for the workshop. Don't forget to do that. And gosh, go have an amazing week. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye. Okay, ladies, that is it for today. Before we go, I want to invite you to head over to DebbieShadid.com. I have this incredible Canva training specifically designed for life coaches, where I'm going to teach you how to use Canva to create beautiful graphics to market your life coaching business. All right, have an amazing week. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.